Tech Tales 52, today, June 8th, 6:50 a.m. Reading a time slip from Monday, May 24th, an hour and 5 minutes long for the Law Office Whiskey. 1:56 to 3:46 p.m. for Romeo. Finished checklist. This would be the computer that I was preparing for her move to the East Coast. Modified monitor box to provide convenient shipping with computer mounted to monitor. Completed packaging and sent text notification that it is ready for delivery. So monitor box, the cardboard shipping box that the monitor came in, it's got these styrofoam clamshells to protect it. Well, I had this microcomputer mounted onto the back of it, and I knew that she was moving back east, so I thought it'd be convenient for the whole monitor and computer with the cabling to go into that box. So I cut out the styrofoam so that it would all fit in that box. And that is billable work. Then I should complete the package, sent a text notification to her to let her know that it's ready and find out how she wants it delivered, and that'll be another time slip. Then next time slip, also Monday the 24th, this is 20 minutes for the CPA office Romeo, 2:40 p.m. to 3 p.m. Let me remind you, in yesterday's Tech Tales, I reported about their internet router. Well, that an internet AT&T technician was going to come out and troubleshoot what's wrong. So this is basically a follow-up to that. So 2:40 p.m. to 3 p.m. I had reported yesterday they were going to come between 12 and 2 p.m. So here the technician has already been there for a while. I get a call from Mike in that office. Phone and remote work with Mike and AT&T technician Romeo to configure new router, LAN and DHCP settings. Wi-Fi settings had been migrated from the old router to the new router, but not LAN and DHCP settings, which cause internet to work, but not Toshiba printing or scanning. Acquired access code from technician for new router. So I had received a text message earlier in the day that did not trigger a time slip saying that the technician was going to replace the router. So that at that point told me that the technician had done enough troubleshooting to determine the router needs to be replaced, which is kind of interesting to me because their remote diagnosis said there's only one line operating. They need two lines operating. So I guess it was a problem in the router that was causing that, even though they thought that the router was okay. So in the earlier text message, the technician was asking a question of me, but then there was a follow-up text message before I had the opportunity to reply saying, never mind. And I deduced that, okay, well, the technician figured out they can just migrate the settings from the old router to the new router and did not need to ask the questions. Well, he did migrate settings, but it only migrated Wi-Fi settings. It didn't migrate the LAN addressing scheme that we use or the DHCP settings that we use. So all the computers picked up a different subnet addressing scheme that was not compatible to the copy machine. I think the new addressing scheme was 192.168.1. And the scheme that we were using was 192.168.0, which is not standard for AT&T. But this office had been using that addressing scheme for a long time back in the history and had some devices that were on static IPs. Right now, I think we only have one copy machine on static IP. So this time slip was for me connecting remotely to Mike's computer to change those configuration settings, and at the same time I got the access code for the AT&T router because they no longer use standard default admin and whatever their default password used to be. it's unique on the label on each router. So Mike in this office had the foresight, and she has stepped up to the plate a few times before with this, in the sense that she had the foresight to test some things. The technician replaced the router, they restarted the computers, internet works, and let's see, did she report? The server should not have been accessible at that point, but I don't think she even reported that in this. She said that the copy machine wasn't working. Did I say that old router, which caused internet to work, troubleshooting or scanning, or Toshiba or scanning? Yeah, that's interesting. My time slip doesn't say that the server was not accessible. It should not have been accessible. So we needed also the correct DHCP settings, because the server had a static IP address and it was not 192.168.0.1. Well, no, that'd be a router address. But anyway, it was an unexpected address. So that got them back up and running. Next time slip is also Monday, 4 minutes, also for their office. Oh, okay. 6:10 p.m. to 6:14 p.m. And this was a little bit of surprise for me. This was golf in their office after hours. Understand that, 6 p.m. He called me on phone and remote support to remap S drive after router replacement earlier in the day caused the drive mapping to be lost. So that is still a little bit of a head scratcher, because I only learned at this time that he was not in the office earlier in the day. And there was another person in that office, who Tango, who I've reported before, who was not in the office at that time. Well, when Tango came into the office after hours, he was able to function. I don't think I didn't have to do anything to get him back up and running. But for golf, he lost his drive mappings. Restarting his computer did not bring them back, so I had to remap them manually. Prior to Windows 10, I used to use a batch file that would automatically execute on restart to remap drive letters for some of these offices, because Windows 7 was more commonly would fail on drive mappings on occasion. So I had a desktop icon for them to double click on, and I don't have that now with Windows 10 typically. And here's the first case when it would have been nice to have that. Back in the day with Windows 7, I actually put that into the task scheduler so that every time on reboot, it would remap the drive letters. Now, I was only doing that in offices that seem to have frequent problems with that. So that got him back up and running. And then the next one is on Tuesday, 10 minutes, for the Office Bravo. I don't know. I don't think I've reported this office to you since I started using mnemonics. And this is a consultancy business that consults in the healthcare industry. And this was 7:15 to 7:25 a.m. for Kilo in that office. Draft and edit and send email reply to Kilo regarding backup of computer. She had sent an email to me asking, how do we back up our computers? And we have, in this instance, it's a cloud backup is how they're backed up. We don't have any separate external backup. So I explained how that works, why that is adequate for their purposes. I'm not sure why she was asking, probably because somebody in her sphere of influence said backups are important, and she realized she didn't know how they're backing up. And she and her husband work from laptop computers, and it is completely adequate because all of their data is backed up in the cloud. So I think that'll do good for this time. And let's stop right there. Okay, so I hope this has been useful. Have a great day. Catch you later. Goodbye.